In this video, you will see material that may be considered inappropriate or sensitive for you, and therefore discretion is advised. We start with these people who are on a boat. The commander of the boat does not know where they are heading. The ones in charge are these guys. Sometime later, we are on this cruise. There are a lot of people having a good time, partying, drinking, and dancing. Now we are with this girl. Her name is Trillian. She trips over one of the drivers of the cruise. Later, we realize that the collision was to steal the wallet from the man in order to take his access card. We return to the boat. One of the commander's assistants is checking the passengers' belongings and realizes that they have missiles hidden on the boat, and the commander does not know this. He gets caught while checking things, and all the passengers start hitting him. The driver is going to help his friend, and after a long conversation, he gets him released. We return to the cruise. We are with the young lady and she was stealing Yusan, but she was caught. The drivers of the cruise decide to lock her in the refrigerator. We return to the boat, and we see that the passengers have tremendous weapons, but we do not know what they are for, as they still haven't told us where they are going. We return to the cruise. The systems are failing. The radar is not working, nor the communication or anything. All the computers are malfunctioning. Suddenly, one of the drivers calls the commander and says he has something. Something is approaching them too quickly from the depths, and it says that it is very large. The commander says it is probably a group of whales, but the driver dismisses it. That thing is 60 meters away. Now it is 40. Now at 30, the passengers on the cruise continue to party, as they do not know what is happening. We see that something is approaching very quickly from underneath the cruise, and suddenly it hits with a tremendous blow. One of the passengers decides to hide in the bathroom and starts to cry. She feels that something is above her. Then she feels that it is below and tries to run, but that thing grabs her and pulls her. We see blood splattering on the bathroom mirror. We return to the boat. As they were sailing, something appears on the radar, but suddenly the radar starts to malfunction. The boat collides with a small craft that fell from the cruise. This causes water to start entering the boat, and they are forced to evacuate. In the distance, with binoculars, they see the cruise stranded and decide to go there because they say they can receive help. Yusan arrive at the cruise and board it. They start searching for people for a long time, but they don't see anyone around. All they find is everything destroyed, but they don't find a soul, not even a body. However, upon closer inspection, they do find blood, but not a single body. The elevator starts to descend and everyone points their weapons. When the doors open, the elevator is empty but filled with blood. We are with Trillian. She is still locked in the refrigerator and is just waking up. When she gets up, she hears something moving through the tubes above. We are with one of the companions of the boat who is trying to fix a large hole that was made. But behind her, she hears noises. Then, there is a corpse that appeared out of nowhere and has some mutilated body parts. She stares at the corpse while we see something approaching behind her. And then, she disappears in the blink of an eye, literally. We return to the cruise. One of the guys with a gun was checking the area and is alone. We see something happening above him, but he doesn't notice. He continues walking through the place, and in front of him, some bubbles start to appear. Then, those who were near him are left puzzled as they don't know what just happened. We return to Trillian. She encounters the armed guys who are going to the cabin. They open the door, and one of the guys, curiously named Vivo, gets an axe blow to the head and is no longer so alive. However, the axe blow was delivered by mistake, as those in the cabin believed he was the thing that stopped the cruise. We return to the commander of the boat. One of the guys with a gun was threatening him, as he believed they had harmed his friend. Just at that moment, they pull him and start dragging him. We see how he gets beaten up badly, and then they make him disappear. The driver and his assistant rush out of there at 2009, while that thing chases them, lifting even the ground. Still, they manage to escape. Trillian managed to escape from the armed men, but she encounters the driver of the boat, who by the way is named John. Sometime later, everyone is gathered in the elevator, but the elevator starts to malfunction and begins to fall at a tremendous speed. When it reaches the lowest point of the cruise, the doors open and the walls are covered in blood, with the floor filled with skeletons, as if they had been put in acid. While they were screaming and in panic, the walls began to compress, and everyone ran out quickly because the walls were compressing more and more. They managed to escape from there and hide for a while. The assistant is pretty chill and feels something falling on his shoulder. He looks back and that giant thing starts shooting at him, but every time it shoots, that thing releases an acid that begins to melt the skin of the kids. That thing spits out a boy who is almost melted by the acid but is still alive. The boys keep shooting at that thing while running. The boys manage to escape one of the tentacles of that creature. It was about to catch John, but Trillian arrives and saves his skin. John meets up with the others and sees how the tentacle of that thing is taking one of them away. He tries to help, but he is no stronger than that thing, and in the end they end up taking the guy. One of the guys asks what the hell that thing is, and in summary, one of the drivers of the cruise says it is a mutated monster. The commander of the cruise says that those things swallow humans, suck their bodies, and spit out the skeletons, which is why we saw so many skeletons lying around before. The boys were looking for an exit from the cruise, but they came across a lake in the middle of it. They couldn't think of a better idea than to dive in to see if they could find another exit. They managed to find the exit, but while one of the boys was swimming, he sees a hand approaching him. Use sand, but it is literally just a hand. Some guys stayed behind waiting for signals, and that thing opens the door and starts attacking them while they shoot bursts of bullets at it. In the end, everyone ends up jumping into the water to get to the other side. The last boy who jumped in to cross is caught by that monster. If you are at this part of the video, it's because you are enjoying it, so give it a like and also leave a comment for YouTube to recommend it. YxT. If you are new, I invite you to subscribe by activating the notification bell. Now, let's continue. But he refuses to let that thing kill him, so he grabs a grenade and makes it explode. Those who managed to get through were arguing about how the hell they were going to get out of that cruise without that thing eating them all. While they are talking, a tentacle appears behind one of the guys. He raises his weapon and starts shooting at it without thinking twice, all while screaming in fear, which makes the tentacle retreat. Now he begins to boast, saying that it was nothing against him, but while he is turned around, that thing appears behind him. Then, the others manage to escape, but they arrive in a room filled with corpses, all of which are skeletons. After seeing that, water starts to enter the cabins. Everyone rushes out of there, but one of the guys betrays them and closes the door, leaving them trapped. The armed assistant 1 was running from that thing, while the armed person behind them shot at the assistant, selling him out. Even so, the assistant manages to slip around the corner and escape from the monster. Trillian and John manage to escape from the water and are about to get on John's boat. While the assistant was resting, the armed man arrives asking for help. That thing has him trapped. The assistant gives him a gun so he can decide whether he wants that thing to eat him or to shoot himself in the head. YxT, the armed man, decides to shoot the assistant but misses, allowing him to escape. Realizing he has no other option, he puts the gun to his head, but when he pulls the trigger, he discovers that there are no bullets. We see how that thing starts to swallow him. The assistant manages to reach John, and they are trying to start the boat. They finally succeed after several attempts. John returned to find Trillian, and they are both facing that monster. That thing is gigantic. It grabs John and is about to swallow him, but he pulls out a shotgun and gives it a reverent shotgun blast. That thing releases John, and they both run from there until they reach the boat. Trillian finds a jet ski and she calls John so they can leave on it, since the boat does not have much fuel. Several tentacles of that monster start chasing them. But John, a real pro, begins to shoot at all of them. We are with the guy who betrayed them and closed the door on them. He is on John's boat trying to start it. He manages to do so, but the boat is heading straight for the cruise. It collides with the cruise and explodes. Let's remember that they had some missiles or something similar there. John and company continued on the jet ski and they managed to escape, as we see the monster burn from the explosion. John and Trillian managed to reach an island, but not just them. The assistant YxT also arrived. He says he jumped into the sea and swam like crazy. While they were there, smiling, they heard a tremendous roar, and all three were frightened. We see how something is lifting the ground from the mountains, approaching them. And so this movie ends. I remember having watched it a long time ago, which is why I decided to make a video about it. Let me know what you think of the movie. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe by activating the bell, and don't forget to brush your teeth before going to bed.